Did you know Charlie Rock, LD?
Of course, man, that he was with me in Polak, and right? So in Polak, I'm just saying, we went Louisiana, the Hot Boys were big, everybody was coming from the projects up there, and you already know Hot Boys, some of their members was in our pin. And every Friday we have Freestyle Fridays. And I used to go with the 50 books. Those are books are stamps. And I used to put them on Charlie. Let's go, Charlie. Let's smoke these motherfuckers. And we had hours of cipher. And at the end, you see that crippled, limping motherfucker, so roughneck soldier, Charlie. And we were enemies. The Kings and Charlie Hustle had beef in Sunset Park. And
Wait,
we met in jail.
wait, Charlie
Huh?
or Charlie Rock?
Charlie Rock, and there was Charlie Hustle.
Right. You're talking about Charlie Rock right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when we just met and things went right. And Charlie Hustle's the same, right? When we went through this and we fixed it, my point is, imagine when it was rare in a yard to have a freestyle artist that could whip ass and have the Latinos in the yard in the rap game. We had, handball, basketball, we had a couple, but that was where we wanted our force in Polak, right? And that's what we had. And that's, again, we're looking for the Latino to step up and bring us together like Pun did and bring forgiveness in the air, because we need, the Latino culture needs in rap to have its footprints. So we're never forgotten in this 50-year history that there was the Charlie Hustle, there was Tony Sunshine, there are so much talented Latinos in this field, and Terror Squad's light could bring light on all that from the past and what we could do to do present and keep us shining in the rap game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in jail or out, the culture follows us, man. Do you know how in the pen we ready to fight and kill each other over the Pun beef and the Tupac beef and rap beef? We take that shit serious, man. When Mobb Deep and them was going hard with the Lower East Side, that shit is real, man. When Unity Ave fought the Kings, people died, bro. This shit ain't a joke when you spew this hate. There's young minds who take this personal and will start the beef today off of your hurt of yesterday. And that's why I say we got to be quiet of what we spew. Because we ready to fight for our heroes and our Puns and our Joes. So we got to be careful that we make sure we don't incite something that we demean by sharing our experiences or as we make it as who we are. So, I tell those all that support Cuban and support Joe in their way, that the greatest way is to have a battle of knowledge, of conversation, of forgiveness. And then we move forward, like I said, a respect line where we uplift the Latino community and the future rappers and have two veterans like yourself. Teach them not to fall into that division that we've seen ourselves go through for selfishness, greed, and non-communicating truth about what we do to each other when we're chasing our dreams. You don't got to step on somebody else to get up there. You just got to hold hands and lock down and help each other get there. And that's what I'm hoping comes from this interview, that they see that, look, I could bust my gun anytime I want. I could get dudes to pick up and go do bad anytime I want. It's so hard to find a motherfucker to follow me doing good.
Mm.
It takes so much hard work to be disciplined, to go home to your wife, to pay your bills, to not go and run in the street and kill every motherfucker that's an idiot. And that's the dedication of life that I'm hoping our Latino community goes, that we start valuing that we deserve to go back home to our wives. And this respect shit and all this arguing is a cool thing, but it should never stop us from being who we are in our communities. We're leaders, we're pillars in it, and most of all, we got Latino blood in us, and we should try to bring a message of hope and unity to the younger generation. And that's what I pray for the Terror Squad, for Joe, for Cuban, and all of us, and all the brothers we got in jail, Luis Felipe, Boy Georges, all those dudes that we rapped about, that we didn't live their lifestyle, but we used their lifestyle to tell a story that made the Jay-Z's and all of us famous as we lived it. So let's give tribute and let's remember our past, but not let it destroy our future.
Can you tell us, for the fans, in honor of Charlie Rock and his memory, can you tell us an untold story about him and your experience with him?
Like I said, we didn't have much, but one of the things is what I remember him most is, like I said, I don't know if people know him. This dude, he was a bully with me, bro. This dude was like nobody used to do what he did. He used to see me and just grab me, put me in headlocks, and the dude, like my security, would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, yo, you a king." He did. I'm like, yo, it's Charlie, bro. And for real. And like when he was through with me, I had to go to cell and take like ibuprofen because the dude was just brutal with me. And I'd say, damn, I could imagine Pun grabbing him because they used to say they used to wrestle a lot, all of them. You know, they used to do all kind of boxing things when Pun was alive in his house and with his children, you know, just stories he shared. But the most thing I remember, he
Wait,
was very
wait,
touched.
wait, wait. You talking about Charlie Hustle?
Yes.
Oh, I'm talking about Charlie Rock, LD.
LD, that's why I'm confusing. No, it wasn't. It was Charlie Hustle.
Charlie Hustle. Okay, so you were
Yeah.
locked up with Charlie Hustle.
Yes.
Okay, but did you ever have any interactions with Charlie Rock, LD?
No, Charlie RD, we seen each other from far, but I never had him as an intimate friend like Charlie Hustle.
Okay, yeah. Because I know Charlie Hustle. Yeah, he got down. Charlie Hustle was serious.
That's why he was brutal, bro.
Yeah.
Charlie, but for real, he was a brutal young kid, right? But he loved. That's what I'm telling you. He made me love Terror Squad again, Charlie, because he loved them. He took that Pun as a god. God gave like Pun gave him his only, like as I hear his break and all of them. Like he made them. He would bring these new Latin rappers that were good. He wouldn't fear them. He would bring them in their house and all that. So that's how I met and knew the intimate stories where I won't share from Charlie Hustle, that he told me how that inner circle was and how tight it was and how Bun really took over the leadership role when he was alive. Joe had the rap and all that, but Pun was the glue and the love of the circle. You get it? He had that cool, like you say, he let his hair down. Where Joe finds it harder to be his own self in front of everybody. It's more for personal. Pun didn't have no problem dropping his hair in front of everybody, and I think that's what made him so lovable. And Charlie Hustle distributed that to me, that who he was and why everybody loved him that much. You get it? How he was in the limousines and how Pun used to act. So I got a good view of that, how big of and tight of a family Cuban and them look. They were really family. You get what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
were family, that crew. It wasn't just they were Terror Squad. Them niggas, the stories are they were family, so I could hurt the hurt. So with that, what I'm saying, that sorry if I confused on, but Charlie Hustle was a brutal young kid who rapped his ass off and Pun. I don't know if you ever heard Charlie Hustle rap, but you
Yeah.
gotta hear his freestyle. He's vicious. So, and these are all fruits of a Terror Squad. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's more brothers and sisters that I could talk about that have been touched by them and in the system and out. So the long story short is, look, if King Tone, with all he knows, when he went in there, all the federal inmates knew about Joe, knew about Hustle, knew the beefs. I'm just saying how real this is to us, our community. So they do that thing is affecting all of us in a way. So it's important that, again, I say it, and I know your audience is strong, that as we give our opinion, but we always end it, they still should talk. We still should try to unite because we need ourselves back together, right? In a way that the community could heal from. So I'll keep pushing that forward, and who knows, maybe one day I could sit with Joe on one of his show and I could say it and I could tell him like we should really try this shit, right? We should really try this shit because this shit works, man. It works when a family says its truth and ends it and lets the community see a closing and a new start. You know what I'm saying?
That would be so big for hip hop and for the community. It would be such an example for those coming after Terror Squad, coming up in the game right now, to see that you can resolve things in a different way that doesn't lead to people being killed. Right.
Yep. So right, and I thank you for being a great supporter of Cuban, because his platform is smaller, and like you said, so it's good when the underdog got people who support him and love him, so he could get the attention of the big guy. But let's not make it where it becomes repetitive and it just becomes a show of attack. But how do we bring Cuban to get to that stage where it has to happen, right? Through that humbleness, through the suffering he made, that how could we get him to that perfect place where he gets what he's been longing for so more? His leader and those that heard him to say, yo, we did wrong, but hey, how could we start this and give you that platform so you could say your words, right? Your word. That's all he wants. He wants the world to hear his words on the stage like they used to before the tragedy. And he deserves that. And if Joe could give him that, I would give him that because that'll be better than any $1 million or $200 watch you got on you. It's gonna be cooler than any ice. It's gonna be shinier than anything you got in your fucking jewelry box. Is if you win that jewel called Cuban. If you put that diamond back in your crown, like I put all mine back in my crown that I hurt, I'm such a better man now that I got them all back with me and their support behind me. And that's why I'm alive and free today, is because I said sorry, I was honest, and then I came back and I gave back to the people I hurt most. And now I'm shining like I never did before. And now I found peace, and now I could face anybody anywhere with that assurance that I become a better man and saying sorry to those I hurt. So I leave with that. I don't want to become repetitive. And I
Bro,
want the community to know I'm out here. I do it. You know, I talk all this good shit, but if you see me in Burger King and you get too smart, I might beat the dog shit out of you with a cane. So don't push me. You know, I still got that fire in me. So I'm just telling you, don't get sexy with it. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's how I am and that's how I always be, you know? And I love my community, and I hope the Latino community stands up and we bring our heroes together.